Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Energized Empowered Professional Women Summit. I'm so excited and glad and happy, and I'm of what we have talked about in the last few days. This is day 3, and it's International Women's Day in Australia, and it will be International Women's Day for everyone else in the US and Europe very soon as well. So we're going to have 48 hours of International Women's Day, which is fantastic. I love it. And we're streaming live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Chuck your comments in, love, support, questions, please chuck your questions in. We would really love to support you. We have a Facebook group that will support you as well. So everything is there. It's all on the website. Speakers bonuses, the schedules, the recording links, it's all there. So please refer to the website. It's a resource for you, pretty much like these recordings. And we are a group of women from all over the world who are dedicated to help you leave behind exhaustion, frustration, and burnout, to confidently take back your life with renewed energy and vitality. And how are we going to do this? We are doing this by having these real and raw conversations on how to identify, communicate, heal, and prevent burnout. We have amazing bonuses from all the speakers that are coming on board to share their wisdom with us. And I am so grateful for all of them and for you, for your time and your generosity and your openness to this summit and what we are bringing to everyone. So I am Vanessa Mollard, and welcome again. And so let's start this beautiful interview by introducing Anna.
Hey.
She's so full of energy. I love her. And it's not surprising. She is an energy master. And this is one of the reasons why I asked her to join us, because I was looking up energy medicine for burnout recovery. I've done a bit of energy medicine myself, and I really love it. And it's all part of some of my work. I thought, let's have an energy master in here. And she came out as an energy master because and I listened to her TEDx talk, Find Peace in Times of Chaos. And I just went, she needs to impart her wisdom and her beautiful self in this summit. I asked her and she agreed. And wow, and here she is. Thank you, Anna. And so to let everyone know, who is Anna? Anna Choi. She's the CEO and founder of SolJoy. She's an energy master coach and trainer, Taekwondo black belt, Forbes author, and TEDx speaker. She serves high-achieving, creative, conscious, next-gen global leaders to catalyze a tipping point in elevating humanity's consciousness. Trained by two living enlightened energy masters, she's a lifelong energy student in the last 2 decades. And her work blends ancient wisdom, energy mastery, and brain education as a Dahn Master, Korean Qigong yoga instructor, and Taekwondo martial artist. She's a second-generation Korean-American social entrepreneur and philanthropist. She founded the Conscious Leadership Foundation to train educators in helping their students cultivate mindfulness and emotional resilience through brain power wellness. And her proudest accomplishment, and I love this so much, is water birthing her son. And she's married to her best friend for 20 years in the US. And Anna loves being a singer-songwriter. Wow. I think you've got a song for us. I'm not sure if I put that in. Oh dear. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't do that. Hiking, dancing, yes. Cooking plant-based food. And you might see her face on billboards or subway trains as the BCU model. Wow. So welcome, Anna. Let's kick this off.
Yes. Great to be here.
Thank you. I would love to hear your own story on how you personally came to start helping people with their energy and as an energy master, and specifically, around burnout.
Yes. So my burnout began when I was 16 or so and was getting 5 hours a night of sleep and a scholar athlete, president of the school, etc. And at the time, just wanted to really master all parts of life and as a high achiever. So fast forward, I just kept hitting burnout at different stages where I would feel successful as a financial advisor in my first business. I was a broke art major. I had no experience or connections, grew it to 6 figures in a couple years, looked good on the outside, but again, dropped dead, like physically collapsed in the lobby one day from sheer exhaustion of working 80-hour weeks. And then I became a mom, and that has its whole on burnout emotionally and spiritually. Decided to come back out from being a mom. We were on food stamps at one point because I hadn't been working for a long time. My husband quit his job, so I became a sole breadwinner, which is a different kind of, I would say, financial pressure and burnout with a spouse, a house, kid to support. And then I was in the tech industry, running the equivalent of 4 weddings at once at different timelines, and hit kind of a spiritual burnout, I would say, even though I was paid very well. And,
Yep.
We even had massages at work, and I only worked like 30 hours a week. So I thought that would help. But every time I tried to expand on the type of burnout I was experiencing, it wasn't quite it. So the last kind of burnout, there was success burnout of growing so quickly and well in my third business. And then also the last one was really what I called being a burnout do-gooder. So in the name of impact, the nonprofit arena is very well known for super burnout. And I was like, this is weird. So we had begun back then a presence movement that addressed the quadruple bottom line of people, planet, profit, and presence. Presence is about well-being, and nothing's going to happen if we've got a bunch of burned out do-gooders. So that is the journey of constant different kinds of phases of burnout. And then when I hit rock bottom, kind of in the middle before the success burnout, is when I met my energy masters. A very desperate point of life. And they taught me in very different ways. Each of them brings different aspects. So that is what I do today, is train people in what I learned. And I've gone from like 5 minutes of not being willing to spend time on myself to now 2 hours is not enough. a day, a week is not enough for the volume of what I accomplish at. So the bigger your life gets, the more a foundation you need of self-care, of well-being practices, boundaries, being very clear on the vision of what to say no to and cut out.
Wow.
So JOMO, joy of missing out, not FOMO, fear of missing out.
Love that, JOMO. And that's I love that. I got to type that down. Sorry.
It's a book. I read part of it. I couldn't finish it. It wasn't that great, but I love the catchphrase.
I love it. And it's these simple things that so just sort of put that in. Thank you for sharing those stories of, again, burnout after different type of burnout. And I really I've talked to a few people in nonprofits and in that sort of, and they give so much, and there is a lot of burnout in those areas. Activists in different areas as well. They are also really prone to burnout because they're just giving their all, and they just want to do good for the people, and they just forget about the bigger. And I love this: the bigger your what you're working on, the bigger proportionally your self-care and your boundaries should be. And that's a really important thing that us high achieving women and also men need to realize, and that as we get higher and higher, we just, our self-care, or who when we connect to ourselves, gets smaller and smaller, and this part gets bigger and bigger, whereas both should be as big as each other, I guess. So thank you for that insight. And I really love that. So you found that all this working in energy really helped you. So what inspired you then to become an energy master? Like, for me, some people are just really happy to just sit there and go to, say, a qigong class. But then you've gone from that to being the master and studying from all the masters. What inspired you to do that?
It's funny, I've never been asked that particular question in that way. So basically, I just kept working is the short answer. As I went from exhaustion to balance more, then I got really excited about, what would it look like to unleash my brilliance? What would it look like to go from burnout to brilliance?
Right.
What does brilliance even look like? And so as I dove deeper as an energy mastery student, many retreats, many trainings, many daily disciplines of my morning routine and exactly what I do to replenish my energy, the energy became boundless, and I started experiencing bliss. I started experiencing things I've never experienced. And it was once I had the first taste of bliss, I was with my energy master in a silent meditation retreat. I had this experience of not needing anything. Like, I could die very peacefully with no attachment to even my kid, my son, my husband, my work, my impact, my legacy. None of that mattered. It was the most unattached yet blissfully peaceful, just for being alive. So that became the new mission of how do we feel alive? How do we experience moments of aliveness and joy for no reason from within? And because spirituality can become another crutch that we use to go outside ourselves, that we rely on. Okay, I need to get a massage, I have to go to this retreat. And when the pandemic happened, all cut off. You had to go home and go within and be with your mind, your body, and your heart. So I did like this 90-day self-induced transformation. I let go of my clients so I could really go inward. I did this like 30-day detox with everything I was eating. I took a ending racism course to conjure up all my crap and face it. And then did a 10-day silent retreat where you can't even look at people, journal, exercise, do anything. So after 120 hours of meditation, came back very clear. I could feel inner joy for no reason and without any outside stimulation, just on an ordinary day for no reason. Right. So then that's what we help clients do now is, how do you, for no reason, maybe in the face of a really crappy circumstance, still experience peace and joy? And that's the work we do now. That is a never ending, amusement park of, how can we, I'm always like looking for simplified ways to distill that ancient wisdom into modern day practices that have profound effects.
Yep. And people can completely relate to and understand it from all the different levels, in terms of how they feel and the science behind it. And I just love that. That's why I'm so fascinated. I've been doing lots of different things with energy medicine as well, and it is mind-blowing to me as a scientist. Days before, it's like, what the hell is that? And you're like, no. And now I'm like, oh yes. Why did I do this before?
I had a client that was like 280 blood pressure over like 160, and he was gonna get a heart attack and then stage 3 kidney failure. He wasn't a client yet. And out of working within 3 weeks, we brought him down like 120 over 60, which is insane. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I got to do my disclaimer and all of that. But the work we did through coaching and then the practices is what really helped him create those boundaries, create that space. But then ironically, when you do Tai Chi Qigong and other types of moving meditations, it calms you down more in the in the blood pressure and heart.
Right. Okay. That's really good to know. So that's something that everyone should, everyone could take note of. And I actually I found it really challenging initially. And then now I'm seeing so much, there's a different aspect to it, which I'm really enjoying. So to our listeners, and some of them might be going, what the hell are you talking about? So can we, let's wind down a little bit and say, what is energy, and what is burnout, and how does that all kind of go into this? How would we understand it?
Yes. So energy from a scientific perspective, right, is if you go down to the smallest type of particle, into a molecule, to an atom, and then you have like the nucleus, right, with the protons and neutrons, and then you've got electrons flying around. If you were to put that to scale, think of a football stadium as the atom, outside of the atom, and the nucleus, guess how big it is? It's a blueberry.
Yeah.
Where all the density is. So that's a lot of room between the blueberry and the outside edges of a stadium for electrons to fly around. And that empty space, some people call it quark now. They're still, in quantum physics, defining everything, or discovering what has always been. But that potential energy is one way to look at energy. From a spiritual perspective, it's simply chi, ki, life force, right? It's the thing that when someone dies and transitions from the body, it goes limp. So that life force, that potential energy, is everywhere and in everything, whether from a phone to, a body to nature. And that's what we work with in awakening the innate potential already inside of you. There's nothing to build towards or find or get to. It's already there. So we just got to get out of the way internally and allow it to unleash. So if you go like this, and we can kind of feel and sense energy, knowing it does no difference. You got to feel it. So that's a lot of our work, is feeling energy.
Yep.
So make fire. Inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. So you feel the friction and the heat heating up. Good, and then start shaking your hands like you're turning a light bulb on. Feel the heat. You might feel, oh, my wrist hurt. Just keep going. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And then tap, 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 tap. Tip fingertips and wrists. Good. And then go like this. And then you can tap your body. We're going to tap our heads actually just to stimulate the fingers more. So your hands have what's called jangshim, or acupressure points right there where you put your middle finger, that center point. Acupressure point is simply a hole that energy goes in and out of. And some gates, like your hand, danjan means energy center, have either one direction, the other direction, or both. So the hands go both. So as you keep tapping, we want to build up. What we're doing is building up heat, energy, friction. We're also, we can smooth out. Relax the face. Sweep your face. Say, I love my face. I love my beautiful face. And saying that to the brain makes a happy, healthy brain. Smiling as you exhale relaxes that brainstem. So as you do that, you can stop and hold your fingers in front of you, in front of the heart. Do you feel any sensation? Some people will, some people won't, depending on how black they are. If you can't feel it, you can just go back to making more friction or clapping, shaking, any sort of stimulation. But there's a magnetic or tingly sensation or heat that people feel. And as you inhale, imagine you have an energy ball, and as you exhale, contract the ball. Now place your awareness between your hands. That is key. Where your mind goes, energy flows, matter forms. Inhale. Feel and place your awareness between your hands. Palms, palms, palms. Exhale. Contract. Now breathe from the energy, not your breath. Have your breath follow the energy sense. If you cannot feel the sense, imagine an energy ball that's growing and contracting in front of you. And you can play with the ball. It took me, Vanessa, 6 years to feel a ball. So for any of you doing out there, you're like, I don't feel anything. Great, great awareness to know that's how numb you are to the sensation.
Yep.
So one of the first energy principles is water up, fire down. And this is based on, we have overused our brains and they're on fire, and we were hot-headed and we react. And then we're cut off, which is why you can't throw hands for those that can't, because we're cold, like literally temperature, but sitting all day like this. So water up, fire down is where you bring that cold, stagnant energy into the kidneys, which then brings it up the concept or governing meridian, and then calms, and there's actually a cerebral fluid that happens, but it calms and cools the brain. So you have a calm, cool mind, and you take that hot, fiery energy down into your core. And so another just quick thing is if you tap 2 inches below your belly button like this, using the bottom of your fist, a light fist, and you tap 2 inches below. It's basically your second chakra, or your lower abdomen, your core. If you're a Navy SEAL, an Olympic athlete, a singer, songwriter, or a performer, you have to use your breath from the lower belly. That's where your center is. And if your body is like a battery or a phone, that this is the battery center, where you recharge. And most people are depleted in this area. So with water up, fire down, what we're doing right now is drawing the fire energy down into the core. So we heat it up, inhaling through the nose and smiling. Gentle smile. Feel the difference when you smile. It relaxes the brainstem. And as you do this, you can start to feel heat in your danjan. Danjan again means energy center, like a chakra. If you place your awareness in 2 inches below your navel, midway to the body, imagine an energy ball burning bright there. And if you do this long enough, you will start to feel it heating up. But like I said, some of us are numb. So the signs that you have water, fire down is you have saliva in the mouth. You start sweating. You feel heat. All positive signs. Now going back to our feeling energy, even just danjan tapping, again, you can just try. And as you relax and clear out the noise inside, you'll be able to feel a stronger sensation. And if you've been numb for a long, long time, then doing these practices helps bring the awareness that's always looking outside yourself back into the body, feeling the body, and like flipping a light switch on. You're like, whoa, you'll see all your crap inside. So if you feel pain, that's a great sign. If you feel numbness, great sign. That means you're aware now of how numb your body is.
Wow, those are amazing practices. That's the energy that we've cut ourselves off. Or so I guess that's what happens in burnout, right? Like we as you said, it was kind of like the heat's only here and then it's cold down here, and that's probably why like some of the symptoms that I had as when I was burnout was gut problems and a bit and sluggishness and
yes.
and
Insomnia. Yep. They have all sorts of ailments from the improper energy circulation. So when you have the water up, fire down, that's the proper energy circulation that kids have. That's why they have boundless energy. And you're able to then heal, self-heal. And
right. Wow. And you're right. That's why when I first started to look into qigong and stuff, I just like I don't feel any like then people saying let's put the energy in your hands. I don't feel anything, and you're right. It was about I was just so cut off here that I could not feel anything, and it was that very awareness of I'm cut off, and now I need to do something about it has really brought a huge difference in my life. And that reactivity and that anger and that frustration and overwhelm that I used to have is dissipating. And I feel a lot more, weirdly enough, I feel a lot more in control. I feel a lot more I feel a lot more in control, whereas I was out of control before, grappling for control. And I think what you're saying here with the energy is just fantastic. So thank you for.
I think you feel more at choice, right? At choice, because I do think there's an illusion of control we don't have.
Yeah,
like we're all out of control. We just pretend like we have control to feel safe, but in fact, we're always out of control because we only can, take action here.
Right. Great point.
What you're saying, yes.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that to light, and I really appreciate that. So this is something that I personally am working on at the moment, and yes, it's fantastic. So what are the myths around energy mastery, and what are the biggest challenges that people face around replenishing their energy?
Ah, yes. So one myth is that it's really like I don't have time, to do. I'm so busy, I can't actually make the time. But in fact, that's everybody's got 24 hours. So why are some people able to accomplish? I think of like Elon or like a president or whatever, right? Like how can they accomplish so much in the same amount of time? So it's not about time. You can't manage time. It's about your energy management and how you're
Mm.
using your energy in the moments that are available to you. So that's one aspect that I could go a whole day on. Another one is that it's because of some circumstance, right? It's my toxic environment, or my relationship, or my kid that's distracting me, or my work that sucks, or the news is depressing, right? It's some outside circumstance.
Mm.
The myth of the other, that it's something outside of me. And so really the principle here is 100% you, right? Like how, not what's happening to you, but how you respond is obviously up to you, and being able to understand how your energy, which by the way, thoughts, emotions, body sensations are all energy.
Right.
So
Mhm.
all of that noise that's typically inside, that we don't have, our culture doesn't promote. They're always like, next hot, sexy thing, next shiny object. So taking us out. But the moment you
Yep.
go in to the noise, and then you see how crap, like, woo, lot to go in, then you realize through a natural intuition, knowing, oh, that's why my son's talking back to me. This is the real one. He's not disrespectful.
Yep.
Oh, let me look at my shit. Oh, right. I modeled, reacting to him earlier today, and now I'm getting it back. Or, oh, sometimes it's karmic. It's like from long ago, right? My
Yep.
there's the map of consciousness, right? And one of the levels is reason, which is like just neutrally understanding why something happens, especially the bad things we might react to, as fair, like it's coming back to me. So, oh, my mom and I was very disrespectfully talking to my mom for about 10 years, here it comes again. Because, but really, I mean, fabricate or not, there's no like scientific basis for this, but for me, it came to me while I was purifying and doing energy exercises as a very clear pattern that
Mm.
instantly, this is a big area I had struggled with. I was like, how can he be such a, like, why? Like, I'm an energy master. How could my kid be?
Yeah.
He's a good kid. He is. But like, why does this talk back happen? Gone. Like,
Wow.
it's like I'm looking forward to the if
Yeah.
it happens again, as a gratitude. Like, thank you, for surfacing this thing that I resonated with, because it was in my past behavior, right? To clear out. So that's
Wow.
another aspect. There's many, as a myth, that it's out there when it's all us. But you have to have the awareness and the interest to look within in that way.
Yeah. And these are some of the it's interesting because these are principles that I work with as well, where it's awareness, and then it's curiosity, and then it's compassion, as part of how I help myself and also my clients as well, where I say, is, are you aware, are you curious, are you compassionate, and then how do you embody it, is the next step. And so I guess the biggest challenges that people face is, one is the perception of, I don't have enough time. What other biggest challenges that, or you found that people face around replenishing their energy?
Oh yes. So there's five. ways that, well, how it's being framed is a little different than how I normally would share about it. So, as far as myths, the biggest thing that people think also is that they need more sleep. And this one, I hesitate on sharing this one because everyone knows you need 8 hours of sleep. And the science proves that. And I'm like, no. So my enlightened energy masters don't sleep. And I'm not exaggerating. It just makes sense. They should die, right? Like if they're not sleeping. So they do go into deep meditation when they're sleeping. They do night work. They probably get like 2-3 hours a night. Like they do some body rest. They call it resting the body. But this is very common among gurus, among any spiritual line people.
Yeah.
So what is up with that? I mean, so there's a baseline. So I'm not saying don't sleep. I'm saying that there's a myth that it's about sleep. Okay, well, why are you not getting sleep, right? Get to that. And the root is almost always some sort of stress, right? And that stress is then causing maybe physical ailments and problems that has your mind never shut up.
Yeah.
So if we get to the root, I've been at a point where I was able, like, instead of 8 hours, I could get like 5 or 6 and have very good energy and non-reactive energy.
Yep.
Distinct from when I'm just in the, staying up too late, therefore reacting and getting 5 or 6 hours of sleep, and then I'm reactive. Very different. It's like a conscious non-sleeping, right?
Yep.
That I was introduced when I was meditating for the 10 days, 12 hours a day, right? So anyway, that's another myth, is that we need a lot of sleep, but the reality is that's not the source typically. And, we have on our website, on YouTube, I think there's a link below. We have like 3 exercises that you can do to get deeper sleep. All true. But what that's actually doing is recentering the energy that's hot-headed down into the core so that you're able to more easily get into a deeper sleep. So again, it's addressing more the source of relocating the stress energy in the head.
Right. Wow. That's fantastic. That actually explains to me why you're doing this summit. I have had less sleep than I would normally have, maybe because I'm wired to get this happening with everybody, and there's so many cogs. But what I do is I actually go into deep meditation for an hour, and after, when I wake up, when I get out of the meditation, I feel as if I've had sleep for 2 or 3 hours, but I don't have that sleepiness involved with it. I'm not saying don't sleep. That's silly. But in terms of what else you can do to help you regain that energy, Anna's brought up a beautiful point, and I love that. That is. Corey, just keep going. Yep.
No, I was going to say, I don't want people left with the right message here. I don't know what they'll take away. So if you have more stress, the ideal is to get to the root, to remove the stress and understand what the source of it is. If you don't, though, yes, you still need sleep. And typically, as you're more stressed, you might need more sleep, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. I think, that's good clarification. Thank you, Anna. But very, but yes, it's another aspect that we would love everybody to think about and be aware of. So I've got put up your all your socials and your link and everything, because you mentioned about the different videos and things that you have and resources for people. That's part of the chat that we've got at the moment. And I've done some of the magic. So I'm really, this is all on the website for the summit, guys. So if you're trying to scrabble and take this all down, it's all there. Just click and it'll go through. So, and with all this, who do you work with? What's the process in working with you, and how people can get hold of you, obviously through the website, but yeah.
So I work with high achieving conscious entrepreneurs, and having obviously been an entrepreneur for 20 years, I just get it from every single angle, every single type of model.
Yep.
And how people can work with me. So we have an upcoming workshop, actually is a great first step, just to understand the energy foundations, even before setting up any sort of one-on-one. I like people to
Yep.
get educated first. So there's the YouTube channel. There's two other myths I'm not going to go into, but we're going to talk about at the workshop that's coming up this Thursday and also next Friday on I have to protect my energy. That's a huge one for empaths.
Yes.
Big myth. And then another one is I have to do more to replenish myself, like massages and all these well-being care practices. I'm not dissing on them. I do them, but you'll find out why those two aren't necessarily the case. So that's, I think, an easy way. And if you go to my website, soljoy.life, that's SOL, no U, like the sun, soljoy.life, you can see that if you scroll to the bottom, there's an opt-in that is about answering those three biggest questions I find people ask. They still ask, how do I get deeper sleep? How do I actually replenish my energy? How do I feel the energy? They can't feel it. So there's resources that are free for you that you can take a look at there.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And that would be I've also put up this bonus link here as well that Anna's put up for us as well. And that's the thing to the masterclass, the workshop that you're talking about.
Not a masterclass. Yeah, the workshop.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say one last thing is, then what, right? Like, so you realize what your source is, and then what are the powers, like the superpowers that are innate in you from the mind, body, heart, soul, spirit. So we'll touch on that as well.
Oh, wonderful. That sounds absolutely amazing. I'm going to have to sign up for this. My next week off is going to be like, oh my God, there's all these bonuses. I need to look at them myself. And this is absolutely amazing. With what we've shared today, it's an area that I'm still a baby at, and to have Anna here to share her wisdom, her experiences is phenomenal to me, and I've learned so much today. It's fantastic. I keep saying the word, but this is how it is. I would love to ask you a little question, and if you saw yourself, your 8-year-old, 7-year-old self, around that age, and she was looking at you and she's having a moment, maybe a moment of joy, maybe a moment of sadness, maybe just a moment, doesn't matter what it is. What would you whisper in her ear right now?
I love you. I'm always here for you. That's the soul talking back to the ego.
Wow. Yes, I can feel that projection of loving energy. It's just vibrating through, and that's beautiful. Thank you, Anna. That was fantastic. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your generosity with everything that you've given today, and also the support that you've been giving me through this summit. It has been an absolute joy to have your friendship as well. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for the person that you are and have been and am and becoming. There is so much in our lives and so much potential as we tap into our deepest being and our deepest surrender of who we are. So thank you so much, Anna. So much love from me, Vanessa, Mollard, and Anna, and all the beautiful women. We thank you for tuning in. And please share this with someone who you know this would resonate with or is looking for something. Thank you so much.
Thank you.